You guys, what is it that makes somebody successful? I mean, just kind of like, what do you guys think as a few points that make somebody successful? What makes somebody successful in their life? To you, Mari, what is success to you?
Stay positive.
Be positive, right? That's important. We need to stay positive because when we sit in front of people, they get enough negativity out there, don't they? They're looked down on, different things like that. We go to work, what happens? When we go to work, what happens is we get a job, we get a raise maybe every 6 months, every year. A lot of times we just get a raise maybe once a year, right? The average raise in a year is $1, right? That's the average raise for a person. Hopefully we can make more, but at some point the raises start getting little by little, a little bit less, and stuff like that. And then they get an attitude and try to tell you you're lucky to have a job, right? We've all heard these kind of things, right? And at some point I learned, after a review, I would ask the guys I work with, I would say, so how'd your review go? I mean, did you get a good raise? Because I would like to know, right? And you know what I observed? Every single time they were disappointed. But 2 or 3 days passed, and you know what I figured out? I saw? They forgot about it. They just go back to work. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, and you're expecting a different result. But in a job, the average raise is going to be maybe about $1. You're shooting for that dollar. Oh, I got $1, right? You feel good if you got $1. I used to feel that way, right? I'm sure you might agree with that. But that's not success, right? People are kind of holding you back because the companies don't have the profits to pay you $100,000 a year in these kind of incomes, right? Primerica is totally for making sure that the person is financially independent, the family is well taken care of financially, and the representatives are paid well. I wanted to go into financial services when I started before Primerica. I would go to the bank and I would see the ladies, the tellers in the bank, because I would go to the bank on a regular basis, and I would see them driving Mercedes at the bank. And I would think the people at the bank make a lot of money. And so I wanted to go into finance, but I didn't know if I could get a job at the bank. And so when Primerica was introduced to us, when I saw that it was run by Citigroup, Citibank, and all of this, I used to watch the financial channel every time I came home from work. I would sit and watch the financial channel. I wanted to learn about investments. I wanted to learn all of these things, right? To improve myself, to make money, and these kind of things. And when we got presented with the opportunity, I saw that there was no question in my mind. When I saw Citi on the overview, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. I had no reason not to do it. I actually I got licensed a little bit before Carolina did because they lost her paperwork or something in the thing, but I started going on appointments with her early on in the beginning, and I saw that I could do this business, that people wanted their investments and these kind of things. And I would play a little game with myself. I would go on an appointment and I would see if I could get a result every single time I saw somebody. I started to see that I could get a result every single time. In investments, when I did this, I went 29 appointments in a row and I got a result. Wow. I opened up 29 accounts, 29 investment appointments in a row. Life is not like that. You don't close like that a lot of times, right? Because it's the first time. But in investments, I would encourage you to get your investment license. Because 19 out of the 20 people you sit down with, you're going to help them, aren't you? Nobody else is out there doing that. So there's a huge opportunity. And if you can identify an opportunity out there that you can run with and these kind of things, you need to plant your flag there. Okay? I saw that licensing was very important. What's another key to success? In Primerica, it's licensing. If you can license a group of people, you can have a good, strong team on your side. You can license some very sharp individuals in your neighborhood or in your community Who's going to help them more in your community? You inside your community or somebody outside of your community? You in your community, right? So you just need to present yourself. You need to know your game. You need to know your art, but you need to be able to present, and that's it. If you present to enough people, you're going to find the results and you're going to get the licenses. When I focused on licensing, our income started to go up dramatically. Okay? This is one of the underappreciated parts of the business, I would say. But if you're working with a couple, it's sometimes easier if you can allow your partner to help you in the licensing process. Maybe one is a little more vocal and outgoing and ready to sit down and present, but we need help in the licensing department. Okay, in your HR department, your own business, you need to have somebody that's paying attention to licensing. Licensing is a mathematical way for you to figure out how long it's going to take you to make your 100,000, 200,000. When we got 50 licenses in our team, we jumped another 100,000. Every 50 licenses on the dot, like the clock. I mean, as soon as 50 license hit, boom, we were right at that next $100,000 mark. Somebody needs to take care of that. Today, the state requirement's 12 hours. When I did mine, it was 52 hours. Okay, so I mean, we can pray for it to be easier, but at some point, we gotta be willing to just get our hands dirty and go out and see people, right? And ask them, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, but our company is growing right now. We're expanding. You seem very sharp. I don't know if you keep your options open, but we're training people right now. If you're looking for an opportunity, you can stop by the office and I can have somebody, do an interview for you, right? Or whatever like that. And you can have somebody sit down with Jaime at any time. The office is open all the time. Jaime doesn't turn off the sign that says, closed for the day or whatever. He's willing to sit down with somebody. If one of your best friends is able to come in during the day, he can sit down with them and do a little informational interview, sit down with them, and then start them right up. You have to use your resources. You have resources in place. But if you get good at the licensing, whatever you know how to do, if you got licensed already, you know how it works. All you got to do is take what you already know and help somebody else to get that same license, right? That's how you grow. You grow from being a district to division to regional vice president. All right, so when you're in a district promotion, your next promotion is division, right? It's just a little jump ahead. It's just a little more that you need to do, that's all. But you're now gaining more momentum because your income potential is increasing every time you help a family and these kind of things. But if you can license more people, it can give you the freedom you need to focus on what's important in your life. Maybe it could be your family at some point. But if you have a business running no matter what, then that's true freedom, right? So I would encourage you to have a dream. You can't be successful really if you don't have a dream. You have to have a dream. And one of the hardest things you're gonna find sometimes is finding people that have a dream. But he has a dream, she has a dream. Every one of you here has a dream of something that you wanna accomplish and you wanna see happen in your life. Right?
What was your dream when you began or when you started?
I think it was to please Carolina. We wanted to open up a business together, to work together. I wanted everything to be for us together, right? It was like that. But you need to have some kind of dream. My dream is different today. In some ways, it's still the same, but in some ways, it's different than it was before. I didn't realize even the dreams that I would have now weren't even really what I could see before as a dream that I would have now. But it's so fulfilling to have your dreams come true, right?
What dream?
Being in your couple.
What is your new dream? What is your new
Well, I could go into that. But
yeah.
but you need to have your dream, right? Everyone who got up here, there's something that they want. Monica, she has a dream. You could hear it. She wants to help people in the community, right? This is her dream, right? We all have a dream that we want to accomplish. And you have to have a dream of something that you want. And one of the hardest things is to figure out what is that dream, right? What can that dream be? Maybe it's to be financially independent. Maybe it's to take care of your family. I don't know what your dream is exactly, but you have to have a dream to be successful, right? You have to have something that you want to accomplish. The second thing is you need to raise your voice about what it is you're doing, right? You need to let other people know. Hey, I just want to share with you what I'm doing, so if you know somebody who might be interested in the future, you can pass my card along. You're just getting licensed, you're going to get your cards. If they could just pass your card along. When I started in Primerica, one of the things I wanted to be in a position where I had a card. I felt like I would be important if I had a card, a business card, right? And here you get that. Right? You get that card and you get to be able to work from home if you want. You get to be able to work from the office. All of these things that are really kind of exclusive in some ways, but you get to obtain them right here. So raise your voice. Let people know what you're doing. Let them know so that if they know somebody in the future, they could pass your card along. Would that be all right? They'll say yeah, right? It's not, don't overcomplicate Primerica. Primerica is very simple. All we do in Primerica is share little strategies that help people get ahead in ways that nobody else is showing them, right? Who's showing them how to get financially independent, to start a business? I mean, they can get advice, but they don't have the tools. They can't back it up with the result, right? You can get good advice anywhere, almost. Right? Everybody has an opinion about something, if you noticed, right? But at some point, you got to put your head down and go to work. We did that. We went to work, and if you have a goal of licensing people, you need to call them and you need to let them know the classes that are coming up. Because just to get them back on track, because they might have lost hope at one point and fell out of the business, but they're willing to come back and they're willing to get started at different points. Okay, so stay in touch with people. Raise your voice. Let them know what you're doing. And then make a moment where you have like a time that you lay down the foundation. Like if you're going to build a home, you're going to start with the foundation, right? You got to lay down the foundation of what you're going to be doing. You got to make a moment where you have a solid understanding of the business. You need to apply what you're learning here in a way, keep getting better so that you lay down a foundation, because everything you're going to be built is going to be based on you and your efforts. You're the head contractor here, okay? You need to be the one with the knowledge and the resources and the licenses. You're the head contractor. You're an independent contractor here, right? In some ways. So we rely on each other. We have the environment. We feed off each other. We learn from each other, all these things. But at some point, you need to make the moment for you. I've listened to the leaders in the business, and they say it took about 2 years to build the business. When I seriously got serious about building the business, it was just that 2-year period of time where we were working for 2 years, and everything came from that. Like I heard Omar talk about that. In 2 years, all of the RVPs popped out from that one RVP, like they all just popped out from there, right? $1 million earner, incredible life, right? Incredible hierarchy and these kind of things, right? But you got to make your moment. There's a time where you got to lay down that foundation. And for us, it was going to work. It was making sure we had goals. So on licensing, if you're going to be the licensing engineer, or whatever way you want to put it, but the licensing specialist, I think you need to have a goal. Like my goal, nobody has ever done this, said this to, you've never heard this before except from me, is that when you have a licensing goal where you have so many people scheduled for the license, let's say you have, your goal is to have 3 people at all times ready to go take their test. So I would have, okay, I started out, I'm gonna have 5 people at all times scheduled to go take their test. I don't care if they pass or not, but my job is to schedule them. I can schedule somebody, or I can work with the office to schedule somebody. How's this person doing? Da, 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 da. I can schedule that person, right? But I took the whole responsibility, okay, of doing this. For a period of time, and our income doubled and went up. Is if you can license the people by having a licensing goal and you stick to that program, that would be my number one advice to you, is that you, even if the goal is small and you say, I'm always gonna have 1 person licensed, scheduled to go take their test. If you just always have 1 person in the lineup to go and take their test, you'll start being successful. Okay, because that person will get licensed and they'll start licensing others on their own. And the numbers will start growing apart from your own efforts. And then you're gonna hit that 50 licenses, and for every 50 licenses, if you have 50 licenses, you make 50 licenses, and you don't get $100,000 from that effort, I'll take you anywhere in the city and buy you lunch.
Wow.
I promise, I'll do it. You just show me that you did that on paper, because it's on POL. You did that? If you do that, I'll take you and your family anywhere in San Francisco. You choose. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. It works. I won't have to take you. I'll just be an appreciation. Yeah. So, but you want to have that goal. You want to be making 100,000. You have to have a professional income. You need to make 100,000 in Primerica, and the way to do that is license enough people. If you license for a month, that's 50, right? A year, you're making 100,000 extra in 1 year. The next year you're making 2, maybe 3. You got a few leaders along with you. Maybe you're making 350,000 soon, right? 400, 500. I remember when we clicked to 500,000 a year. That was more than 10 years ago. 500,000 a year. Your life is going to change. The things are going to change. You no longer have to say, you no longer have to consider whether this is good or not, to spend this money on this or that. You can invest into other people and things for your family, right? So being successful is being positive. What else is being successful? Huh?
Professional.
Being professional, right? You're a total pro. Right? I admire every time that you come in and you speak about investments. I feel like we need more of that. We need somebody that's on their game here, showing us too how to be successful in investments. Right? We got to be pros. That means we got to learn what we need to learn. It's not that difficult. You just need to learn a simple presentation. Right? You present and you just transition. If you want to be successful, you need to understand your transitions. You need to know that when you go through your presentation, you just need to ask it one question. So let me ask you, at what age do you feel you're on track to retire at? And they're going to laugh and say something, right? And you say, what age would you feel that you would like to retire at? And you start taking your questionnaire and you follow up. You don't have to ask. You're already there, right? So you do your presentation and then you start doing that analysis, or you start recruiting them, right? Whatever it is, but you need to learn your game. And it's only just presenting what's already in front of you, having a voice, presenting whatever's in front of you in a simple, clear way, And then following up with that. Because everybody wants to protect their family. They want to get out of debt. They want to save for retirement, and they want to have a great business, right? They want to have true freedom, and they want to work with a bunch of people that they feel good working with. And one of the things that you have on your side is that you're able to work with people that you want to work with. When I was working at my job, my manager would always have me training people. Because I take my time, I do a good job, and he would always have me training people. And what I noticed is that they would hire people that I necessarily wouldn't hire if it was me hiring, right? And I realized one day, because I love my job, I wanted to retire there. I figured I was going to work there for maybe the next 30 years, right? And retire there. I felt like this is what I want to do with my life. I found a job that I really liked before Primerica. And so my manager would always have me training people, right? And I would think to myself, why, sometimes I would think, why did they hire this guy? Sometimes I would think, you're put into positions, your manager hires them, and you have to work with that person, right? But what I figured out is if I'm gonna be working with somebody for the next 20, 30 years, next to somebody, locked arms with somebody for the next 10, 20, 30 years, I at least should be on the interview process, shouldn't I? Mm-hmm. Primerica gives you the ability to be on the interview process with the person that you want to work with for the next 10, 20, 30 plus years. Building a business, right? So Primerica is taking you from this side of the desk where we do an interview, to being on the other side of the desk, being the interviewer, so you can hire and train the people that you would like to work with. That's why Primerica has grown to be the biggest. R. Williams started it that way, right? So you, with best friends, hiring best friends, like you and your best friends locking arms together and doing something, right? Because you have each other's back. And these kind of things. That's how you grow. You're going to grow your business, is working with people that you want to work with, that you don't mind spending time out and about with them, right? So be successful, be professional, but the main thing to be successful is understand licensing. Licensing will bring you income. And when you have income coming in, you have no naysayers. Like Jaime said, the first question, how much are they gonna pay you an hour, right? Our first month license, we made $4,000 part-time, the first month license. From that point, nobody could ever tell us anything. Plus, nobody ever even gave me a hard time. Like when I started in Primerica, nobody has the power to tell me what I can do with my life. If it's a good thing that I'm doing and I'm helping a lot of people, I don't know how many children have money for college because I was able to sit down with them. I was the number one in Cheryl's base shop, like you, setting up 30 accounts a month, every month for years. Okay? It was easy at some point. It becomes easy, right? It's just an easy thing. But at first you might not feel that way. And the only reason is because you have false expectations, false understanding of the results you're gonna get. But when you get out there and you actually see the people are very nice, right? It doesn't matter. You can sit down, you need to sit down with people though. You need to sit down with them every single night. We had appointments every night. I admire you, Everardo, for what you're doing, your determination. He went to a big event in Atlanta where there's, normally like 60,000 people are able to be there in Primerica. Totally changed his mindset there and decided he's gonna come full time. He came back from Atlanta, went full time, and look, made $10,000 a month. I've seen Carolina write $12,000 on her own kid in the beginning as regional leader. I've seen her write it. And for me, I don't want to just let her make all the income. I want to be a part too, right? So you're gonna find your role, but I would say your roles are gonna change, but you need to be paying attention to all the aspects. You need to make sure that your heart's in the right place, you're leading your team, but you're finding leaders and you're having your vision, right? You see what you want to get to, and whoever builds the biggest space shop, all the goodies are going to go to that. Look at Everardo got like 6 things of candy, an iPad, but he was the #1 producer. All the goodies go to those who build the big base shop. The one building the big base shop, the one on the appointments, guess what? The rewards are going to come. You don't even see the rewards. Did he expect that? No. But it all comes to the one who puts the effort, doesn't it? It's all going to come to, we can't think that the things are going to come for free. We live in a microwave sort of generation, right? Everything needs to be right now, right? It has to be right now. I got to know now. All this, they got to, but you have to lay the foundation. You have to put the right things in place, right? You have to have the right mentality. You have to be determined. You have to be, especially finding somebody who wants to take over the communication on the licenses. You know, Lorena in Florida took care of the licensing part of their business for years, and they were able to get $8 million a year in income by focusing on that, and that's their primary message, is the licensing, right? But first, before you can license somebody, you got to see if they're willing to get licensed, and that willingness is just a question that you need to ask to find out if they're willing or not, by asking them if they're interested in a part-time opportunity right now. For me, when I started, I would send a lot of people to Carolina because I was working full-time and she started in Primerica. She was at the office, but I would send her people and she would come over to my work at lunch and I would introduce her. And a lot of the guys, what I would tell them is, hey, are they giving you overtime right now? And they would say, no, they're not really giving any overtime. And I would say, I don't know if you're interested, but my wife's working with a new company right now. They're training people. I can have her give you a call. Yeah, sure. If you want to do something maybe on a part-time basis. People want to make more income. They need to make more income, right? And until you're never going to quit that first and second job until you find something that can replace both of them. In Primerica, you can replace your income, but you got to be dedicated to being a student of the business. You have to be dedicated to being better and knowing how to call somebody and just set an appointment. Hey, Maria, I just wanted to follow up with you. I haven't spoken to you in a long time. But you know what? I was thinking about you because I started a new company. In a new company, they're training me right now. And, I was thinking this would be something that you would really appreciate. I was wondering if I can come over and share it with you, maybe this weekend. What are you doing on Saturday? And it's just your ability to set an appointment at first. That's the only thing you really need to know, how to set an appointment, and then you can gather interest from there, right? So if you can gather the interest from there, you just need to ask a few questions. Would you, what we're doing, this is really awesome. You present, or your trainer presents, this is really awesome, right? Yeah. If we can help you, well, ideally, what would be I think it was, let me ask you a question, Jonathan. How much ideally would you like to make on a part-time basis? What would be an ideal
5,000.
An extra 5,000? Okay, and then you just show them exactly what they need to know on how to make an extra 5,000. But I would approach it like that. If you were to start with us on a part-time basis, how much would you want to make getting started? And if they say 3,000, easy, that's easy, okay? But you need to have a good start too, right? You need to have a month where you say, last month I made $10,000. That's a recruiting, most people don't have an ability to make 10,000. in a month. Huh?
They have all these degrees.
Right. I mean, yeah, you can spend your time in school or you can spend your time building a business, right? If you have the next 10 years to build something, right? I tell my daughter this, she was wondering one day, like, what she should do with her life, how she should spend her time and this kind of thing. And I told her this, you can perfect anything in 10 years. Anything. You can do it before, but they say it takes 10,000 hours or whatever. Let's just say 10 years. How many 10-year periods of time do you have in your life? You could be that. You could be the lawyer. You could be the this. You could be the that. But in 10 years, before 10 years, we're already making over $500,000 a year, right? You can perfect this in 10 years, right? So you just need to know that, and people need to know that, right? If you can come in here, and in 10 years you're making $600,000 a year, $700,000 a year, $1 million a year. Where else can we find an opportunity like that? I just thank God for the opportunity of Primerica. Primerica has changed my life. That is not something I'm just saying. That is from my heart, the truth. Primerica has changed my life. And I'm thankful for Carolina for being the businesswoman that she is and the determined woman she is. But I put my part the whole time. Okay, I might have taken some time off and stuff like this to come to terms, but I appreciate Primerica. I love Primerica. I wouldn't go anywhere else. Primerica's the best. And if you're searching for something, I wouldn't keep searching for that thing. I would plant my flag here and start going to work and just set a few appointments, right? And go from there. Right? And you don't have to do it alone. You can do it with your trainer. You just go on an appointment with them. Right? Set an appointment with them like Monica said with Jaime. Go on that appointment with Jaime. Jaime's going to do all the work, but you're going to gather all the rewards. He's going to put the people in class, and you're going to get the licenses. He's going to run the training, and you're going to have the life applications being written. Okay? All the resources are here. Use your resources. But first of all, you got to get the ball rolling, right? We got to get the ball rolling and sit down with a few people and ask them, who would you like, who would you like to share this opportunity with? And they're going to say, oh, my mom, and you just give that, do the startup with Jaime, and he's going to give them a call and say, hey, your son sat down with us. He was very excited, but he wanted to share what he's going to be doing with you so that because he really values your opinion, would you mind sitting down with me and him so we can share with you his business plan and what he's going to be doing for the coming future, maybe this Saturday? He has time at 3. Is that okay for you? Sure, yeah. And you sit down with them, and then the mom comes on board, and now they have a family business, right? But you got to get the ball rolling. Most people don't understand this, but you got to have the action. The action has to be there. And when the action is there, the emotion will come out. The emotion will be present. But you get no emotion, no actions, no results if you are not present on an appointment. You're just thinking, sometimes we're thinking too much. But you need to be thinking on the way to the appointment, what you're going to be saying, and these kind of things. I would say the best advice in recruiting somebody is being determined that you're going to recruit them before you go on that appointment. It might be in an investment appointment that you're going on, but you should have the mindset before you go there. You should be thinking, I'm going to recruit this person. And you should be setting it in your mind and in your heart to recruit that person. Because without you and your recruiting invitation, they might not have a chance. Right? At least for us, I wouldn't have the same chance. I wouldn't have been able to discover my life in the last, this time frame if I didn't have a chance in Primerica, right? So I would encourage you to go on those appointments, meet the people, and see who you would like to maybe go into business with. If you like them, smile and say, you know what, I think it would be great if we could go into business together. Why not come to the office on Tuesday night? We have an overview, and I'm going to do the overview, and they're going to come on board. If they come to the office, if they just come and see the place and these things, they're going to come on board, but you got to engage them. You got to bring them along with you. Hey, I'm going on Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Come with me to this this business overview. I want to make sure that something that you would appreciate maybe in the future. If you like what I'm going to be doing and you like the office, maybe we could work together, or you can, if not, you can maybe pass my card along in the future. So if there's somebody I can help, maybe I can go ahead and have the honor to be able to help them. I don't know what you say to your friends, but you need to invite them and you need to pack the room. We always had 25 people, our goal is to always have 25 people showing up. Now we have people in around the Chicago area, we have people in the Indiana, we have people in the Central Valley, we have people all over here and there all over the United States. But here is where you're going to build your business. Here's where you need to plug them in. Here's where the resources are. Here's where they can come, and there's a safe haven where they can get their license and focus and get trained and everything that they need so they can be successful and have real success. Right? You want to have real success in your life, and there are plenty of young people having real success in their life, making hundreds of thousands of dollars at your age, right now. Come from your same background as you. The only difference is they're sitting down with people like that, just like them, that are looking for an opportunity versus the ones who are not. Either you separate yourself. You decide to go down the employee path or self-employment path, or you go down the business owner and financial independence investor path. Right? I was saying to Francisco earlier that the difference between a business owner and a self-employed person is the self-employed person cannot hire others. The business owner can hire others, but the employee can't. So you're always only two fists. You only got two fists to fight with. But if you can build an army, you can conquer whatever land you want to conquer. Almost like that, right? Primerica is like a tank, in my opinion, in my estimation. It's like that. It's like a tank. It's bulletproof. It's very tough. It can go through anything. It can go through all of the trenches. It can topple trees and cross barriers that you couldn't cross on your own. It's capable of going anywhere and making something, getting there. It has no resistance hardly in some ways, right? I would say it's very indestructible, but it takes a man to drive it. Drones are coming, but it takes a person to drive it through the trenches. It takes a man to drive it through the trenches. The tank is Primerica's indestructible. It's bulletproof. There's nothing wrong with Primerica. It has been thought through thousands and millions of times. It's perfect. But we need a strong individual to drive it through the trenches. You are the one that's going to drive it through the neighborhood. You are the one that has to get through the neighborhood and deliver the opportunity to the person, where they can really have tax benefits, where they can really discover financial independence. They can have their small business. They can have all of the things that they want to have in life, but we got to be the ones willing to fight the fight. And we're looking for tough people that want to fight the fight. Primerica's built with a lot of tough people. And it's one of the toughest things is to make an appointment, believe it or not. We can be in construction, we can be in the army, we can be as tough as nails, whatever. We can fight to the end. I'm good in martial arts, but I can take care of myself. But we need more boots on the ground too, right? And all of the good things that come with Primerica, right? And we need more licensed people, and you need to license your people. You need to build your army. The best army in the world is Primerica, 150,000 licensed people. The biggest financial services marketing firm in North America, that's us. You're not alone. There's a lot of people here. You see this office, but like there's hundreds of thousands of people that know Primerica is awesome, right? And in this area, you have the best facility. You have the licensing classes. You have everything. We just need to get the people licensed. We need to put the boots on the ground, and we need to fight the fight, and we need to be pros. We need to be good at our game, right? You need to be good at making sure that you're the best version of yourself. And that's one of the hardest things, right? Making those appointments, all of this stuff. It may seem like you don't want to do it in some way, but you know it's not that hard. It's actually easy. If you call one of your friends and just say, hey, you know, what are you doing on Saturday? What are you doing later today? If you have like a 45 minutes, I want to sit down and show you what I'm doing. I won't take too long, but maybe or 15, 45, whatever minutes, but we can sit down. I want to show you what I'm doing, so in the future maybe you can pass my card along. Would that be all right? Yeah. You sit down, you present what we're doing, and now all of a sudden it's not you fighting the fight, it's you and somebody else too, right? Any other questions? I'm kind of going on, but something I can answer for you guys, because we said a lot of things, but what is it that you feel like you need something more, or you feel like you can do it? What is it that we need to be more successful?